What's up, guys? So, I just got back from Epic Universe. Things have changed a little bit. Um, I know the park hasn't been receiving the best feedback due to the virtual queue and and the crowds and stuff like that. But me personally, when I went, I didn't deal with a lot of the crowds or anything like that. To be honest with you, I only did like maybe 45 minutes at the longest, and that was with Stardust Racers. This was 2 weeks before some of the general public got to go into the park, so I just wanted to put that out there. I purchased 2 days for the Passover previews, the 25th and the 26th, so that was a Friday and Saturday. I booked a stay at the Terra Luna, which was very cool. Got to the park, and security was fairly quick. I didn't have to do anything, special. They have the facial recognition like at the other parks, at Islands and Studios. Walked in. First thing I noticed really was how loud the music was. Honestly, it was hard to really take in because I've been waiting for this park since it was announced, and all I could think about was like, I'm actually here. Celestial Park is so massive. You walk in, the music is playing, you see the Helios out in the distance, and you just see how grand and massive this place is. So I pulled up my phone, and the first ride I really wanted to try was Monsters Unchained: The Frankenstein Experiment. My most anticipated ride this whole park, and it's a delay. I wasn't tripping about it. I wasn't, upset about it. I knew it was going to happen because up until that point, Monsters was having a little delay with a lot of the ride, well, a lot of the preview dates. I walked through Super Nintendo World, went up the escalator. I was just like, this is crazy. I walked in. I didn't know what I was going to expect. I mean, I knew what Super Nintendo World looked like, to be honest with you. I knew what it looked like in Japan. I know what it looks like in Hollywood. But to see it in person, how vibrant and colorful, pretty big, to be honest with you. At the end, I didn't ride any rides. At that point, I was just walking around because I really wanted to see monsters. Walked through Donkey Kong Country, really cool. It was really crowded over there. I know even in the rest of the preview days, it was like Donkey Kong was always going to be busy. Walked in, it was like a walk-in, took a picture, walked right out. So when I walked out, I was just looking around, listening to the music. The walkways were open. Nobody was really there. I looked on my phone and it said Monsters had a 35-minute wait. So I booked it. When I say I booked it, I really did speed walk. I walked over there, go up to the portal to Dark Universe, and you hear the crackling and stuff like that. It's like a purple like a portal. When you walk in, you can see the fog out in the distance when you walk in the portal. And I walked in, I turned the corner, and then when I finally saw Frankenstein's Manor, I was like, shoot, man. Okay, I gotta ride this ride, let's go. I'm not gonna get into many spoilers, because I know a lot of people haven't been to the park yet. You go through the first pre-show, you see Igor, pretty freaking cool. I laughed a little bit. Not much there, just telling you what you're going to be riding and stuff like that. Going to the next room where you see the massive Frankenstein monster animatronic. Looks like 7 feet, 8 feet tall. Your Victoria Frankenstein just talking to you about her experiment and what the plan is and what you're going to be doing on the ride. I got off, and the first thing I said was, I liked it, but how much do I like it? I knew I liked it, but it was a lot to take in. That's the best thing I can give you right now, as far as like my first reaction. And so I was just like, okay, well, later on we can write it again. First things I can tell you is the animatronics look amazing. The screens were very, very clear. Nothing like what you've seen at the other parks. The screens are great. And yeah, it wasn't. I thought the ride was amazing. It's my favorite ride in the park. Not the best as far as technology goes, but that's my favorite ride in the park. Amazing, top notch. Those 2 days, I rode Monsters 10 times. I did. I think I have a tally mark somewhere in my my posts, whatever. But yeah, I rode it 10 times. That's how much I like it. I got the shirt, Curse of the Werewolf. They had it in the gift store, so I went and bought it. So I walked. I left Dark Universe, walked across Celestial Park, and I noticed that Stardust Racers was down. So I waited a little bit, and I looked on my phone and it said 15-minute wait. This was the first day. It was the second day I waited 45 minutes, but first day they were only running one train. It was the green side. So I got on it. I was kind of underwhelmed. Not gonna lie, because I heard a lot about it being better than Velocicoaster. I'm gonna get to that in a minute. But when the trains are not dueling, it takes away so much of the thrill aspect, in my opinion. It's a totally different ride than when you're actually going against the yellow track or the green track or whatever side you're on. But I can tell you, after riding the ride in its full force, going back and forth with the other train, it's close. It's very, very, very close. I can't say it's better than Velocicoaster, because with Velocicoaster, I feel like it's more intense. You do get more airtime moments with Stardust Racers. I'll say that. But Velocicoaster is what I want in a coaster. I still think the Stardust Racers is great, but Velocicoaster is just go, 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 go. Top hat, go, 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 go. You never get any room to breathe, catch your breath, or anything like that. And that's why I like in coasters, my taste in coasters. So around that time, I think it was around 2:30, I went to Pizza Moon, grabbed some Pizza Moon. That was pretty solid. I think I gave that like a 9 out of 10 when I first had it. It was a great theme park pizza. I mean, that's what you're not getting anything special. I will go back again. I do think the inside of Pizza Moon is pretty cute. You see like stuff on the ceilings and stuff like that. I was really amazed of what I was seeing. So then while I was eating, I was looking on my phone. I saw it was close to the virtual queue, because Battle of the Ministry just opened to the previews. I think like a week or week and a half earlier. So I did whatever video told me to do on TikTok about the back and forth with the virtual queue and in and out the screen. It was just me, so it was easier. I ended up getting it because I missed. So when you go to the screen where it has what it says, like there's no virtual queues available, I exited out, went back in, clicked on the time, went back out because I was too late, went back out, clicked another time, I ended up getting it. So After that, I went back on Monsters. And around that time, I think my virtual queue was 4:30, if I had to remember. I may be wrong, but it was most likely 4:30. Went to Mystery of Magic. Went through the Metro Flu. I think I have a video of that. It should be coming up soon. Cool experience. Honestly, walking through the Ministry of Magic, it was massive. That's the word, that's the adjective I can give you with that queue. Massive. Beautiful. Massively beautiful. Probably the best queue that I've seen. Probably. It's on par with Rise of the Resistance. It might be, because that queue was something special. They had the Higgledy animatronic. I went through that room. We were walking through pretty quickly too, so I was pretty pleased about that. But also a little sad, because I wanted to take in everything to see what, the details in the queue and stuff like that. So I wasn't too pressed about that, but for what I gathered, it was awesome. And finally getting on the ride, they told us no photography, keep both legs both feet, legs, no cross your legs, keep them on the floor, because I believe there's some sensory issues going on with the ride. But the only thing with the ride that I noticed that went bad was the sound. It just cut off towards the end of the ride. That was at the end of the ride where the sound just cut off. But this ride, Battle at the Ministry, it's a mixture between Spider-Man, the vehicle looks like the Tower of Terror seating, but the movement is just like Spider-Man, and I'll say Rise of Resistance too, because this ride is grand. I'm trying my best not to spoil it. There's a particular scene where you go into and all you can say is wow. 2 scenes. 3 scenes where you just wow. The animatronics, the best I've ever seen. I'm gonna say not probably, the best I've ever seen. It was a point where I thought those were actual actors. I really did. I'm not gonna lie to you. I really thought they were actors. And I was just, wow. Wow. I rode the ride twice on my I rode it again on my second day. So all in total, I rode it twice. I don't know how they did it, but Universal knocked it out of the park with that one. That was pretty freaking cool. Wow. Yeah. One thing I will say, do not watch any POVs of this ride on YouTube or TikTok, Twitter, X. Don't watch it, because it doesn't do it justice. I'm begging you, do not watch it. So, yeah, that ride was a 10 out of 10. It's not my favorite ride, but that ride, technologically speaking, it's up there with the best of them, like Rise and Jurassic World over in Beijing. Yeah, it's up there. So I left Ministry of Magic, and I went to Isle of Berk. I had to rush because the park closed at 6 that day. I had to rush. Went on Hiccup's Wing Gliders. Awesome ride. Very, very cute. I couldn't gather everything in one grasp, but I'll in another video I'll tell you what I did the second day. Went over to Super Nintendo World, hopped on Donkey Kong because I heard the queue wasn't anything special, so I hopped in a single rider, got on Donkey Kong. A little rough. It's funny. I laughed. I mean, I like the ride. I have a friend that needs to ride it so we can ride it together. We're gonna laugh a lot on that ride. I think that ride is great for families. It's gonna beat you up. You're gonna be bruised, in my opinion. But with the wait times that ride is getting, I probably would not wait longer than 35 minutes for that one. Just to be honest with you. But it's a fun ride. It's very, 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 very cool. Then lastly, I did go on Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge. I did go through the single riders because I was on the time crunch. And from what I gathered in queue, it was really good. I will admit that it was really good. But the thing that hurt me was I didn't know the rules or how to use any of the AR technology, how to play the game. So I was lost throughout the ride. But so it was a little underwhelming. I'm not gonna lie to you. I gave it a 6 out of 10 leaving that ride. But the set pieces in that ride, top notch. I would say that ride is good. It's really good. But my first impressions wasn't great. Like, they weren't great. The second day I did ride it. I went through the actual queue. Awesome. I do have footage of that. You see the trophies. You see the Universal Trophy. You see King Boo. They're making the carts and everything like that. I actually got into the room where you see like how the game is played and stuff like that. So that I appreciated that because I didn't know. So when I got on the ride the second day, it was easier. And I got off the ride, I was like, I need to bring my people here and we need to ride this because I'm very competitive and I need to exercise this because I think this ride might be one of my favorites in the end. Right now it's not. It's a 7. I moved up to 7 or 8 depending on how I feel that day. But I think that ride is really, really, really cool. Just give it a chance. I know people for the first time, they may not get it. It may be confusing. But for what you're getting with that ride and how the technology is being used and how competitive you are, it could be a good ride for you and your family. So that was my first day at Epic Universe. Great day, magical day, really. The day I'll never really forget. It's one of those things where you appreciate what you do. I work hard, and just to see that in person, pay for the trip and the tickets and everything without any issues that day, was something that I'll hold for the rest of my life, honestly. But if y'all want to see a second video, just put it in the comments. Follow my Instagram, follow my X down in the description. I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.